Now let's get on with the reviews.
Reviews! Who wants to go first?
I can go first.
Yay! Because you never go. This is like your second time going.
Okay, so what did I watch? I recently, as recent as yesterday, watched Justice League Dark Apokolips War.
With Darkseid.
Huh? What's that?
With Darkseid, yeah. Darkseid.
With Darkseid, yeah. Do you know what? Some people say that it was better than Endgame. It's not that deep, but it is deep, and it was pretty sick. And I must say, this is what DC does best when it comes to
animated movies.
You know, movies, and this is what they do best. And this film, mate, sick. It is sick.
Yeah.
So it kind of I've kind of been watching them, not really what's the words, linearly. That's not the word I was looking for, but I haven't been watching them linear. I don't know if there's some that do connect, and I think maybe I've watched one that connects to this and one that doesn't. So you get kind of confused.
You know what? With the DC movies, do you know when it connects? And this was very clever what they did, because before a lot of them were like the Bruce Timm movies and a few other directors, but then when they did Flashpoint, movie, it basically New 52'd all the animated movies.
Right.
So then after that, they pretty much all connect. I think that was actually very clever.
This actually connects to Flashpoint. So yeah. So yeah, so basically, I'll tell you the first 5 minutes, right? The last one was Superman versus Doomsday, right?
Yeah. And then they did Reign of the Superman afterwards, which was dope.
Oh yeah, it was Reign of the Superman. And after Reign of the Superman, Lex Luthor joined the Justice League. But just as he joined, they had basically Darkseid was invading the Earth, basically. So this starts off with Superman, Wonder Woman, the Trinity, and Batman, bringing literally everybody together, all the heroes together to sort Darkseid out and show him, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It should be.
It's not like I go around saying and then the fantastic. You know what? I've got something. Got something for
Darkseid. This is the name of the actual show. Dark Side of the Sea. Go ahead.
So Superman brings everyone together, and he gives them the plan of going to Apokolips to F shit up, basically.
You're on Twitch, you can swear.
Yeah, to fuck shit up. So basically what happens is literally, should I give this spoiler or should I nah?
Yeah, just do it. It'll do it.
It's only like the first 5 minutes. Basically stuff don't happen as the way it doesn't happen the way it's planned. You don't exactly see what happens in a sense, but throughout the film you do get kind of some flashbacks here and there. But yeah, it was a very, 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 very good animated series. And yeah, I mean, if they had made this into the movie would probably maybe be better than Endgame. But yeah, this.
I was just saying the other day that DC really need to fix up because their animated movies are so on point.
Yeah.
If they probably have a handful of okay ones, not even necessarily bad ones, but okay ones. But all their animated stuff is just so on point, and I don't know. Whoever's running the movie section, they need to just get them and just say you are charge of live action because
all they have to do is just do the blueprint of the movies the animated movies, and it'll be a wrap. It'll be a whole wrap. Like, you know what I mean? The 10 years of like, you know,
don't go get a director. Okay, we're gonna do this animated movie live action, but we're gonna get this director to do. No, get the director of the animated movie, get everyone involved, and say, I want you guys to work on a live action.
Yeah,
it will be epic. It will be.
Like, I mean, one thing as well, just to carry on from that. With I was gonna say Greg Berlanti, but that's not who I'm thinking. The Clone Wars guy.
Him. Yeah.
Jeez, what's his name?
Star Wars guy.
Clone Wars.
Yeah, the Clone Wars. When he did Clone Wars, the director.
Oh, I don't know.
Dave Filoni. Like he's been directing a few episodes on The Mandalorian as well, and he's from an animated background as well. So I mean, it works if you can get directors from some good animated shows and put them on live action. Then, oh man, you're gonna get something really good.
If Bruce Timm did a live action Superman or Batman movie, I guarantee it will be the best Superman or Batman movie we've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other problem I feel, is that then the studio is getting too in the director's business, and secondly, they're not hiring fans. Bruce Timm is like a fan. Quick little
tangent.
The way he got into comic books and stuff is that apparently his parents couldn't even afford to buy him comic books. He always loved Superman, Batman, and all that, but he couldn't afford to buy them, so he used to draw them. He drew them to make up his own stories, and now this man is a millionaire because we got Batman the animated series, animated series, Superman the animated series, we got Static Shock, we got Justice League Unlimited, Batman Beyond. Bruce Timm, ladies and gentlemen, if he did a movie, I am telling you,
it'd be hard.
Yeah. But go and watch Justice League Dark Apokolips War. It is probably one of the best animated movies you'll see this side of the coronavirus anyway.
Yay! How many geeks?
4.5, man. Definitely 4.5.
Nice.
The only reason why I won't give it more is because I wasn't paying attention to all the connectivity of this universe. So I knew this was coming, but there was a point where I didn't know, like, it was I didn't know about the Flashpoint bit. So
to be honest, I didn't even realize that they were leading into doing an end game. If I'm honest, I had no idea. So were the Titans in it? Okay, was
I don't want to spoil it. They were in it, but I don't want to spoil it.
I can find out tonight. I might watch that tonight, like straight up.
Watch it tonight.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely.
Find it. Me and Kai will watch it. We'll be like, hey, they're doing things. And I'm gonna be like,
definitely. If you can watch it tonight, definitely. If you can buy it off Amazon,
Buy.
Right.
So what else have you been reviewing? What are we reviewing?
I'm watching it tonight.
We do
Support.
not endorse.
Anyway, go ahead.
Who's doing reviews? Who else wants to review stuff? Legally reviewing things that we purchased or watched on streaming services or Sky with a paid TV license.
I wanna go.
Hey, straight up, I don't watch TV no more. I've stopped watching.
TV has now become obsolete. I can't remember the last time I watched TV.
You know what? I can't stand TV anymore. I cannot stand it. I can't stand the constant adverts. I can't stand the way it's fed to you. Show after show. Like I can't do it.
Not
I can't
good.
do it.
We are now Digimon now. We are now Digimon. Digimon.
I think that might be the title of today's episode.
Digimon.
We are now Digimon.
We are Digimon.
We are now Digimon. I love it.
Yay!
Get it, guys. Got a title.
Okay, so if you guys don't know, we never have a title for our episodes. We always create one We wing it. Depending on how the episode is going, then we will name it.
Well, it works for us, and I have to say, one of the best ones we ever came up with was Surviving Professor X.
I don't even know how we came up with that, but yes, well done. Well done to Kieran. Well done.
By the way, guys, if you haven't listened or watched our Surviving Professor X, go watch it.
Go watch it.
It was. You will definitely enjoy it.
It's a good giggle, and it's truthful as well. You can't lie after that. It's terrible.
After that issue, I feel like I survived.
Yeah, for real.
We're all survivors. Okay.
He's duped everyone.
It was a really touching. Yeah. I feel like it was a very touching and insightful documentary.
Literally. Okay.
Right.
Who's next?
Yes, can I go? Okay, my one is called Glitch Text. Okay, firstly, I was so bored watching stuff. So I was on Netflix and I was just like, what am I gonna watch? And then this little cartoon came up and I was like, Glitch Text. I was like, okay, let's have a look at the trailer. I love a good trailer. I don't care if it's a TV show. I like a good trailer.
I agree.
Played the little trailer. I was like, oh, this is fun. So basically, okay, there's a gaming company called Hanobi. They have a gaming station, and obviously they have loads of games, blah, blah, blah. However, sometimes when people don't look after their consoles, like they constrict the air vents, or they overheat the console, or they spill something, you get glitches in the console and in the game. So a glitch is obviously a kind of like a paranormal live monster that is the game that comes out of the console and tries to kill you. It's basically, so whatever game you're playing, and if you have a glitch, that character comes out, and there are glitch techs that come and sort of. So it's basically kind of like Ghostbusters meets like Men in Black, kind of. Matrix. There we go. That's better. Yeah.
Put Men in Black in there as well. Just make it a part of stew.
My cousin Steely Ricks says it sounds like Sword Art Online. I'm not sure what Sword Art Online is.
Sword Art is good. Sword Art is like a higher level of kind of glitch text. That's more, because you know how those anime people do it. They're like, we're putting mythology in here and high level cognitive thinking about the universe. And glitch text is like the dumb kiddie but it is still fun kind of thing. So
it's Lou, dumb it down. Sorry.
Yeah, dumb it down. Yeah, but no, it's on Nickelodeon, and I was like, oh, okay. I know Nickelodeon sometimes they have those quirky shows, and I feel like because Netflix picked it up, it's one of those shows that's like, it's kind of too much for kids, but it's just right for adult children.
Adult children.
Adult children. So we've got these two characters. One's a little Hispanic black boy, and one's she's like a mixed race, like I think she's like Korean white girl. But anyway, and they do a competition, and they end up stumbling into the kind of glitch tech society, and you know the ones obviously the girl, she's kicker. She reminds me of Toph, fucking Avatar, because she's banging and she's great at she's
in the house.
Love it. And she's a really good gamer, and the guy, he's really like what's his name? His name's Five. His name's High Five, yeah, and her name is Mishiko. I think her name's Mishiko. Mishiko and Five. And so they've teamed up, and they're doing all of these little, adventures and stuff like that. But it's a fun watch. It's only like season 1. There's only 9 episodes. It has I hope they carry it on, because it has the potential to be like, like how like Gravity Falls is like a really good kid, like kids show, or it's not on the same par as like Rick and Morty, but it's like Gravity Falls. What else do I want to like put it under as?
The animation looks like what was that old? What was that, like G-Force or something like that? It kind of looks like that, but a lot brighter.
Yeah. The animation is really, really fun. Like, and I there's something about it that's just like, like when you pump your child. It's really fun watching this.
Yeah, it definitely looks like that.
Yeah, it's like bubblegum fun, but I like the story, and they don't kind of mince things when the characters are going through things. So it's not like, this is gonna be all right. It's like, oh no, I really effed up. It's like, no, okay, cool, we can fix it. It's calm. Like it. That's why I'm like, this is for adult kids. You know what I mean? I just hope that they take it a little bit further because it has the potential to go a bit deeper, like mentally into how we feel as adult children. So no, but it's really good if you get a chance to watch it or put your children in front of the TV. It won't dumb them down because they do a lot of because it's all gaming. Like there's loads of gaming like references, and whenever they're in trouble, it's really cool. They're like just say there's like a big glitch monster, and it's like, oh my days. They always shout that. It's like nerds come and help me. Like it's brilliant. It's great. It's great. It's so
on
good.
Another note, I think I did mention this to you earlier. I did end up watching Hollow. I'm on season 2 now, and that series is actually pretty dope, man. It's pretty good.
It's good, right?
It's sick.
Good.
Yeah,
it's really good.
It's sick. So I think after this, I might give this a try as well. Glitch text.
Yeah, give a little glitch a try. I'm here for your cartoon needs.
I want to add glitch to your
list.
Me lista.
Ever long list.
Lista. Hey, I'm steadily on my Netflix list. It's on Netflix, right?
Yeah.
Steadily combing through that list. I'm actually quite proud. It's combing through that list. Although I keep finding shows and then loving shows and then watching them twice. That's my new thing.
Yeah, I haven't done that in quite a long time, and I kind of quickly forget what shows are, like what the shows were.
I'm doing it. I'm like, nope. I want a new season. I'm watching this again.
Yeah, no. I've been having an itch like a couple of days now of watching B-Star, so I just have to get it out of the way now.
B-Star! Yeah, B-Star! I love that.
B-Star.
You know the way I say it, B-Stars. It's not even a show like that. It's called B-Stars.
B-Stars.
I like B-Stars.
City Rix is asking, has anyone watched Cannon Busters?
Of course we've watched Cannon Busters. Yes, I have. Watch Cannon Busters.
I really tried with that show. And I wanted to support it.
Hit and miss for some people.
I wanted to support it. I really did. But boy, I'll finish it eventually, but when everything
dies down,
better.
Well, the animation looks good, man. It looks like
I'm not animation wise, it's sick. Action wise, it's pretty good. Story wise and character wise,
yeah. I mean, like obviously the main character, he sounds like Spike from.
Yeah, it looks like Spike from.
He looks like Spike speaking, but that guy is no Spike.
Yeah. You know what I mean? But it's the thing of like it's the first season for me. Like it's the first season, so I'm like, all right, cool. He's kind of fine. He's trying to find his own feet. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to like in terms of the writer or whatever. Obviously. Proper culture, but like he's trying to find his own feet. So I kind of give it a blag. So I'm like, all right, cool. But now, if you're gonna do a second season, it has to be like authentic. You need to boost up the story. Like the story again, the story has potential
and characters.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It does have potential, but it's just like you have to be authentically original with it. You know what I mean. You can't cherry pick off different things. Like the girl in it, she's the princess. She's like a. I'm not gonna give it away because it's really good. But she's friend. Yeah, she's friends with the prince. Sorry, I think she's a princess. I think she's a princess. But like, she's friends with the prince. Her story is more interesting than anybody else's story.
So funny because I was thinking to myself when she's done talking, you said exactly what I want to say. Yeah. When I'm thinking about that show, her storyline with that kingdom and all of that's sick. But the main part with the wannabe Spike Spiegel, I just wasn't feeling it. If I was girls anime, that would have been sick.
That's what Stilly's saying. He says the problem is that there's no depth to the story, so there's no connection to the characters.
Yeah. So, but the
theme song is hard though.
Like, watch it. Of course, we've got music down pat. You know what I mean?
We own that shit.
Yeah, of course. Cannon Busters, Samurai Champloo. You know, I mean, the music is always great. Like, it's amazing. Right. But but Glitch Text gets like a 3, just because obviously it's really kiddie, and I felt bubblegummy, so it was just a fun watch. So, but 9 episodes, season 1, go watch it.
Sweet.
So
What have you been watching, reading, Kieran?
Yeah.
Oh, there's so much I want to talk about. Okay, we already got so much time, so I'm going to talk about the comic book that I read today. But and afterwards, I will briefly go into Crisis, even though it's 5 months old.
Okay.
So I read X-Men plus Fantastic Four issue 3, which, by the way, looking at the end of the comic again, issue 4 comes out April 29th.
At least 21 days ago.
Only got this last
20, 21, 29, 24.
I got this sent to me last week. Anyways, that's not our heroes. So we got Cyclops. We got some X-Men on one of their planes, and they're about to intercept. They're basically chasing Fantastic Four because you remember Fantastic Four invaded Krakoa.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
But now they're kind of chasing them to Latveria, where Professor Doom lives.
Okay.
So I see your face twitching.
Professor Doom.
Look.
Yeah.
This is the dark side.
Professor
Doom, Dr. Doom. There we go. Look at him.
That's how it feels.
You dare speak that way of Dr. Doom?
Oh my face.
Side, my favorite villain.
Well, obviously he's not your favorite villain if you can't even pronounce his name.
Oh gosh. You not got me fanning myself. Stop it.
Is it?
Oh, okay.
Blue. It's fine. I'm gonna have to struggle. You guys are gonna have to bear with me.
No, can you go get your effing pot, please?
No, I don't know where it is. Fine.
Send the child.
But I don't know. It's cool. It's fine. Hang on a sec, guys. I have to see the brown one.
Okay. There's a brown one. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, 6 Mississippi, 7 Mississippi, 8 Mississippi, 9 Mississippi, 10 Mississippi, 11 Mississippi. Okay, cool. Oh my God, I didn't breathe when I was doing that.
Do you want to hear this? Basically, I'm just going to skip to the point where they land on the island. Fantastic Four and the X-Men, they land on the island, they have a fight, and they argue about Franklin Richards. And then Kitty comes and Dr. Doom comes and is basically saying, Kitty says he made it. What?
No, Young comes like, yeah, you got it right.
Oh, can't bother, man. Almost died, right? It's like,
Kitty comes, yeah.
I don't even want to review this anymore, man.
Nah, go on, review, go on.
Right, so Dr. Doom and Kitty Pryde come, and while the X-Men are arguing over what to do with Franklin Richards, Kitty comes and it's like, look, everything's going to be fine. I made a deal with Dr. Doom to help Franklin, and the mutants get to stay here. And Magneto's like, how dare you? You don't have the right to do that. He's like, well, I'm team leader. I made a call. And then Professor Kane backs what the call that he made. So then Beast decides to go with Reed Richards to Dr. Doom's place and to check out everything, to make sure that everything Dr. Doom says is true and that it won't harm anyone. Now, one thing that I liked when Dr. Doom was, when they were analyzing this, is that apparently, where's that bit? Apparently, there is something in mutants called. There's like, okay, let me read this bit to you.
Is it a centipede?
There's like this kind of. So anyone who's like a mutant or a mutant or a mutate, or who's just superpowers, has this energy thing inside them, which actually leads to another universe, which apparently Dr. Doom has decided to call Doom Particles.
Doom Particles. Man.
No, he calls them Von Doom Particles, and Beast was like, yeah, of course you do. And I love it where Reed Richards is like, yeah, the scientist Dr. Regina Cow has already been working on finding that source. She called them God power. Doom's like, yeah.
Doom particle.
But it basically looks like it's a solid thing to help Franklin Richards. He really wants to go through with it. He stands up. He stands up to his dad, and because he's like, Reed Richards is like, Franklin, I don't think you should do this. Still treating him kind of like a kid. Want him to do it because there's a slight risk that if he goes through with it, that he could lose his powers forever. But the Beast disagrees. It's like, well, if he doesn't do it, he will lose his powers gradually forever anyway. So Franklin's like, and I think he's got a bit of a bruised ego as well, because like Dr. Doom's the one helping his son. And Franklin was like, either you won't help me or blah blah. And it's like, it's not that I didn't want to help you, it's just that I felt like it was dangerous and blah blah blah. And then, it cuts to, which is my favorite bit. I need to find this bit.
Man, I thought I read this, but I didn't. I missed this one, man.
It cuts to a bit where
Order.
Charles Xavier and Dr. Doom are talking. I'm going to read you this dialogue.
Okay.
This is the best. Xavier's like, what are you doing? And Doom's like, doing? And he's like, oh, where is it? Yeah, Latveria has not accepted Krakoa. And basically, Xavier's like, you haven't accepted Krakoa. And blah, blah, blah. And he's like, then Dr. Doom just has his best dialogue. I love his dialogue. So he says, while I have little respect for traditional diplomats, Doom at least recognizes that they are the supposed exceptional examples of an underwhelming populace. You, however, have decided to make all of your citizens free to do what they will in countries that come begging for your plants. Here's where it gets good. Make no mistake, Doom recognizes the country of Krakoa, but I do not recognize that having claws protrude from your body makes you worthier than a human who dedicates their life to diplomacy and the study of culture. It is insulting. You are insulting, Charles. With this pretense of superiority, Doom will help this young man because it is what Doom wishes to do with his power that he has.
Damn. See, that's why you like Doom, and this is why I like good writers writing Doom, because
that was brilliant. You're reading the comic book, you just expect the usual.
Yeah.
Bit of dialogue where it's just like, what?
Sick,
all
man.
been on the side of like the mutants being, because I feel like, as you know, we're relatable, but don't take that the wrong way. I just mean the struggles they go through. Anyway, but
nice.
The artwork on I wish I could show you this. It's, when they do long panels like that where it's just so you just see the bottom half of Professor Xavier's mouth. The artwork on his mouth after Doom said what he said was brilliant. I feel like I'm not even an artist, but I feel like an artist is only going to notice that. Most people, that's just going to go right past them. The detail on his mouth after what Doom said was brilliant. And bear in mind, Professor Xavier's wearing that helmet as well.
So you can only see his mouth.
Yeah, but you can see so much expression just from a little bit of his face.
Sick, man. I'm gonna. I've still got. I need to read that, man.
He's like, I'm reading that tonight.
Not tonight, though.
I try not to spoil too much, but basically, Beast, Doom. Hang on, who is it? Beast and Xavier go to help. Oh, and Richards go to help Franklin. Or the others had to stay on the main part of the island. Right. They weren't allowed to. They weren't allowed to enter the city. But obviously, Wolverine, Emma Frost, Magneto not trusting Doom, and Katie not trusting Doom are like, the moment he helps Franklin, he's got his ulterior motive. We need to strike now. Mutants out while they're busy doing whatever. So some of them decided to stay on the beach and watch the robot, make sure the robots don't go after them.
Doombots.
So there's, you know what? The team was Magneto, Xavier, and Emma Frost. and they go to this. They go into the town and they find these kids living in a house. They're mutants, and they go to help them.
Yeah.
And I'm just with my fingers because Richard, I want you to read it. Doombots.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, they weren't Doombots, were they?
Oh no.
Yeah, no. That's where I left off on issue 2. Issue 2 was that reveal that they're not Doombots.
Doom is very clever. So they sends these Doombots to go after the team in the city. Wolverine gets taken up into the air by one, and he's like, well, he's Wolverine, it's a robot, he's just gonna cut it up and safely. When he landed, he was like, oh shit, there's blood.
Yeah.
Crafty Doom is like, your friends have violated my laws, they've killed some of my citizens. That was so sneaky. They've killed some of my citizens. I can't express.
I think I might read this tonight, man.
Yeah, man.
I think I will be reading this tonight.
At the end, he sends giant Doombots that look awfully
Yeah.
It was a sick issue. It was so sick.
Yeah, I'm gonna read that tonight, man.
Rich is like, I'm having a long bath.
I've not read comics probably in about 2 months, and this was such a good place to kind of
come back
pick
to.
up.
Yeah.
And because this is in all of comic books right now, I would say X-Men and Fantastic Four and 4 is really what I'm interested in. So I'm glad that this comic was sent to me. It was so good. Out of 5 geeks, I'm going to give this one a 4.9. It was really good.
Nice.
So sick. It was so sick. And like you said, when a good writer writes a dope character really, really well, from that dialogue of Doom, and I can't remember what the word was. You know how there's this stigma, maybe not so much these days because everybody and their cousins read comic books now, but growing up, there was this. I remember being in parents' evening, and my form tutor was like, "Oh, Kieran's this and that, and he doesn't read." And I said, "I read comic books all the time." And my mum was like, "Yeah, but why don't you read a proper book?" And today, I wish I could find the page, but there was a word that I had never seen before in my life. To Google it. I Googled the word, still didn't understand it. That's the comic book people.
Yeah.
In this book, which I'm reading, it's like the most basic English. This is really good book. But this comic book with less pages had the shit in it. It had, do you know what I mean?
Nice.
Google words. So 4.9 for writing, artwork, character development.
Good.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right. Thanks for that, man. Yeah, it's been a minute since we did a comic book review actually. So
I know.
hopefully now, we can. Well, the pull list is back, but unfortunately we don't have any Marvel stuff on there because Marvel hasn't got their act together yet. But hopefully now we can get more reviews up like that because that sounds sick, man.
Yeah.
I was quite happy to review that as well.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So it was such a sick comic book. Rich, if you can read that tonight, get on.
Yeah, well, I've got a lot of rendering to do, so I've definitely got the time to do that.
Thank you, Brown Asthma Pump. Woohoo!
Yeah, isn't it? Secret power.
My blue one is now. What was I going to say? Real quick, I want to slightly touch on Crisis on Infinite Earths. It wasn't that good.
The end.
Is it because you didn't watch the Supergirl episode, the Batwoman episode?
No, I did watch the Batwoman one. I found it.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
I located it.
I located it somewhere. I did watch it on my TV.
There we go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's a button for that. There you go.
But there was things about it that they did that I wasn't happy about. Like I was so excited to see. One of the episodes actually had, which I thought was funny. I was like, wait, I swear I had to rewind it to see. They had, remember that show, Birds of Prey?
Yeah.
Had that in there. They wiped out that universe. I was like, it was crap anyway.
Oh, dear.
Wiped that universe out.
No.
Then they went to Smallville.
Okay.
This was I'm a huge Smallville fan. Was hit and, I'll be honest, the whole show was hit and miss, but just what that show did, I just thought was great.
Yeah.
And what they did I even got some of the graphic novels of Smallville season 11, which takes place after season 10.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What they did with this Clark Kent was upsetting.
Yeah, I felt that as well. I was like, oh, what?
It was a huge disappointment.
Yeah.
It's like Tom Welling just did not want to be Superman at all, and that kind of cheapened.
Do you know? I'd say listen to Matthew Rosenbaum's. He played Lex Luthor. He does a podcast actually, and he gets he does a podcast, and he gets those guys on. Well, he gets Tom Welling on a couple of times, and the lady who played Lana. So they're actually still good friends. But yeah, they go into detail. They talk about that and talk about other things. But it's very interesting when he has Tom Welling on, because they actually talk about what happened during the time of making it, and it seems like they did really enjoy it. But yeah, like you were saying, that upset me as well, what they did with him, because for me it felt like sorry to cut you off, but it felt like what I think maybe you're gonna say is that all those years, the 10 years that we was watching it, we were waiting for him to be Superman and fly and do the Superman shizzle that and have the suit and everything. And then when he came back, it was just like, well, nah.
It was just really disappointing, because you know what? I knew the instant the new Superman said, because he saw Clark chopping wood.
Yeah.
And then he said the new Superman, the CW, they're both CW, aren't they? The new CW Superman is like, I can do that with one hand. And I was like, oh, please don't tell me he gave up his powers.
Yeah.
Oh,
and he says to Lex, he gave up his powers. And I was like,
man.
And the thing is, I already felt cheated. I actually really liked season 10. Season 10 just got me excited.
Yeah.
For the future possibility of this character, even though I know season 10 was the end.
Yeah.
But he didn't wear the costume at the end of season 10. We didn't see him as Superman.
Well, he kind of did, but even that was.
But we didn't see him. Like, fully. He wasn't. It's not like the CW one where we're seeing him standing there, not doing anything, just talking, wearing the costume.
Yeah.
And I really, and it's like that was just such a disappointment. Like, that was the cameo I was waiting for. And it was just, I smiled the whole way through. It was only kind of like in retrospect, because I was like happy to see them.
Yeah.
Like, anyway, so that was that. And then we had Kevin Conroy, the Batman.
Yeah.
My Batman. Finally be a live action Batman. And he was a murderer. Like, I would have, it's like basically they had to go into this reality to find the Batman of the future, because she's a totem or whatever, a spider totem or whatever it was they called it in Crisis. And it was a long-winded way of saying that Batwoman was that totem. And I would have preferred it if it was like she went to see her cousin, they caught up, he gave her a pep talk, and then she goes,
and that's it.
And it turns out he's the. But why did he have to be a fallen kind of Batman who killed the Joker, Superman, and I just didn't like that they did that. There was something else, a few other things that they did where I was just like why?
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was fun. No, that's the other thing. They didn't fight anyone. They didn't actually fight. They had a fight in the first episode, which was the Supergirl episode, which was a horrible.
Anything with Supergirl is just trash. Like,
I like her character. I really do. As in, I feel like this girl plays Supergirl well, and whenever she's in Arrow or The Flash or any of those other shows, she's dope. Her show sucks ass, like major ass. Crusty, unwashed, shit-stained.
We're just like, can I edit that out?
No, it's no, I know what you're saying. It's like, I was thinking about this the other day as well, like when you was talking about like with Black Lightning and Supergirl and Batwoman. is that they kind of go too much into a subject, or they just ham it up too much, man. And it's like
all three shows, including Black Lightning, I would agree. Definitely, that's why I didn't like it in the first place. They all do it, and
even like with Arrow and Flash, they don't really. They do a little bit of it, just a tiny bit, but they don't. Yeah. They don't go ham on certain things, and it's not. Yeah. But Supergirl and all these other ones, they just go crazy, and it goes to the stage where you're just like, is this even about character development, or is it?
This latest season, they've changed her suit for it to be like a pantsuit.
Yeah.
So that she's like modern feminist. I'm like, so feminists don't wear skirts and dresses at all?
Do you know what? And actually, there was one thing as well that I was watching, because this is what we're going way over time actually, but
I'll say how quick you gotta say afterwards, and then
what's his name? I'm forgetting his name. He was on Collider. Jeez. But basically, what he was saying about fudge. Go on, Karen. You. I can't. My mind's gone.
Basically, they just didn't fight anybody. They only fought somebody in the first episode. They had a fight in the last 2 episodes.
Yeah.
And it's like, for the majority of it, it was just talking, which was a bit. And it's like there was this fight where Lex Luthor got powers, and he fought Supergirl. We didn't even see it. I was like, it's like it was happening behind that window down there, but we're up here, and you can see Supergirl quickly fly up and do something and go back. While
what is the point? What is the point?
Character is having a conversation. I'm like,
yeah.
Well, and then the other thing is, at the end, it shows the universe is rebirthing. I'm like, oh, so you saved all your CGI for that? Is that it?
Yes. Did a Game of Thrones. You put all the money on the dragons.
I'll quickly say the things that I did like is that by the end of it,
it finished. No joke.
What I was going to say, all the universes, all the worlds, like Supergirl and Black Lightning, they're all on one Earth now. So I like that. And every time that they've done a crossover, Smallville, when Smallville, they had the Superman, whenever he teamed up with all the other heroes, it felt to me like a Justice League. It always felt like a Justice League, like they were starting out. In Arrow, it's never, I don't know if you felt this, Rich, but it's never felt like the Justice League to me. Not once. This was the first time, by the end of it, not during, but by the end of it, it felt like, okay, this is their Justice League.
Yeah.
And I even like they now have the Hall of Justice, and they all got the chairs and the table with their...
Yeah, I mean, I think it did, but it didn't in the same sense. It did because it kind of, they had all of that, but it didn't because they didn't have Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. It felt out of place in a sense.
Well, that's the thing.
Then,
in this
right at the end, when they had that little Easter egg, it felt like it was like the old school cartoon, 60s cartoon kind of, and then you're like, I think that's probably why I stopped watching it as well, actually, because it kind of felt more like that.
Dated,
yeah. It felt more like, yeah, this is the DC universe, but we're kind of messing about, kind of thing. But then when you watch Titans, Swamp Thing, and
Doom
Patrol, thank you again. And then you watch even the animated shows. It's like, well, actually, this is the kind of DC that I want, man.
Yeah.
And sorry, one thing I was saying that what I forgot before was basically John Campea had a reaction. He was ranting about Robert Pattinson because he didn't want to do any exercises or build up to be Batman. And there was, I actually forgot to put this in the. I actually forgot to put this in the.
Put in the work.
Put that on the list for next week, and I will go in on that.
But he was basically going in, and one thing he did mention was I forgot I think it's putties he calls them. Basically, you have putties in WWF, or WWE now. But putties are characters, the wrestlers that come in and get beaten up. Just so the other characters look good. The main stars look good, and that's what they did with Superman. In a sense, is that they brought him into Supergirl, and they had a fight, and he says, "Oh, you," and when he was because he left Earth to go to Krypton with Lois Lane and that, and he was like, "Oh, you know, Earth doesn't need me; they've got you," and things like that. And it just seems like, well, yeah, it just seems like they've done that with those characters, with Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. You know, they're finding lesser characters to kind of take their place, and they're bigging up these characters, and just, I don't know, it just.
You know what? The funny thing is, with Smallville. Sorry, I know we're going over time. With Smallville,
we can cut the last bit out and just then. Go. This is fine.
Even though they didn't have Batman and Wonder Woman, it still felt like the Justice League. And what I liked, there was one episode. It's like they would refer to them. Like there was one episode where Chloe went away for a while. She came back and she said to Clark something like, "I met a man with gadgets."
Yeah.
Something like, "I met a man with gadgets that will blow your mind, and I met this wondrous woman who can do X, Y." And I was like, at least they're that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that is in this CW.
But I think that's the thing. Like, we're from that generation that had those little teasers, that had those little Easter eggs,
substance.
Yeah, but I think we're tired of that now. We don't want that little.
Yeah, we want the whole thing.
We want the whole thing now. That's 20 years ago, mate. That was like.
Yeah. I was just at least now, like with the CW thing, the Superman, he's getting his own TV show.
Yeah.
So. That's happening. One other thing that I liked real quick is that you remember, I think it was their first crossover where it was when Flash did Flashpoint and he screwed up time.
And
John Diggle
lost his
son.
Yeah.
I like that now. Not only does he have his son, no, he lost his daughter.
He lost his daughter and had his son.
And then only does he have his son back now, but he also has his daughter, so he's got both of them. So I was really happy to see that. Yeah, that's it. There was less that I liked than the stuff that I didn't like, but it was enjoyable for what it was. If I was going to give that anything out of 5, I'd probably give it 2.
Alright.
It was entertaining, as my brother would say. It was entertaining.
Alright.